Swansky slash! Oh, wait, I should lower the camera a little bit more. I needed that just for the angle. And I totally need to. Oh, my name is Fox Ryan. So, again, I'm Bit Fox, and welcome to episode 1 and 2 of season 3 of Sword Art Online, which I'm pretty sure if anyone watches these right now, it's probably going to be a lot of the newer people. But, basically, I have actually been reading the Sword Art Online Alicization Arc. Because I originally, a while ago, heard about Season 3 coming out, I believe. And, these are the 3 books I read. I have, like, the 4th one over there. But, I'd actually been reading these. I first originally read the manga. Thought, alright, the manga, I'm like, alright, I'm kind of interested to see where this is kind of going. And then I'm like, but the manga stopped, like, halfway through this book. Like, literally almost, like, because in the last 2 episodes, the manga, it stops, like, when Kirito's at the church. But in this, it stopped, the manga stops out right here where he first meets Yu-Gi-Oh! So, like, okay, I kind of want to see where this is going to lead. So, I've been reading the books. I want to see how they're going. And by God, I started in June, July, around there. And and the reason why I haven't gotten that far is because this one slogs so fucking much. It slogs so much. But, and that's the part where, like, it lost me for, like, a good, like, couple months before I jumped back into it after I've been reading the Assassin's Creed YA novels. Because I wanted, like, okay, let me see how these Assassin's Creed novels are. And then I got back into this, I'm like, oh my god, the YA novels suck. These are better than that, but that's also not saying much. Those YA novels suck so much. But in any case, so let me get to the actual reason why you're all here. Sword Art Online, the episodes, Alicization episodes, where the first one was Underworld, and this is the Demon Tree. Where, like, I've seen already, like, some reviews of people saying, oh, it's, this is, so far, it's pretty sound. This season's actually starting out pretty well. And you can literally say that about every Sword Art Online season. You literally could. But at some point it fucks up. At some point. And the thing is, you can also play what, after watching, I forgot who it was. It's the one guy who, like, he pointed out all these things. And he's also the one who started the whole, carne, what is it? Because Sinon's name is asada, which there's carne asada, which is a Spanish meal, which is pretty good. But, he's the guy who started that. And, like, he pointed out certain things in Sword Art Online that literally you can make a bingo and or drinking game out of, where there's always a cafe scene where people are sitting down drinking something and, then having a whole explanation dump. Kirito, there's the Scorned Women's Club where Kirito has a harem of women, even though he's still with Asuna for whatever reason. And also things will happen that will have it to where Kirito will somewhat seem like he could either fall for one of the other girls or just something to try to ship it a little bit. Like, oh, look, this happened. That happens. As well as an ass scene at some point in time, which, surprisingly enough, the first ass scene in this show is actually Kirito and not one of the women. Good job, Rekahara, balancing those scales. But in any case, this is the first 2 episodes where, like the books and the manga, it starts off with not a flashback, because it's not a flashback, but you start off with a quote-unquote different Kirito inside this world called the Underworld. You have Kirito with this young boy, Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though in the Japanese, I think they call him Yu-Gi-Oh! Which I think, Yu-Gi-Oh! It's less Yu-Gi-Oh! It's more Yu-Gi-Oh! Like all one word, but I prefer Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! And Alice, where these 3 friends get together, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Kirito's calling, or their job in this village that they live in, where this Kirito has no memories of the outside world, apparently. But their job is to cut down this giant tree. And they've cut away at it, and apparently people have been cutting away at it for about 300 years, and only brought its life down, I think, like 100 out of 25,000. So, and it heals. So it's even more than that. They brought it down, but it just heals. But their whole point is to break down this giant tree. And basically Alice comes and gives them food. And Kirito's like, man, I really wish the food here didn't spoil all that fast. Like, only there was a way to keep it. Oh man, like I wish we didn't have to eat this food so quickly before its life like drained, because they can open little windows. Which honestly, the graphics on that look really good, and it's like those are the graphics I've only seen on like on anime movies. Like I think Yu-Gi-Oh had something kind of like that where they showed life points, and I think like I've seen like windows kind of like that. And like these little like status windows, and it looks like those kind of like really good graphics. Like the color on the Stacia windows looks freaking great. What are these little windows that you do an S and go boom, and like a little window comes and says, "This is the life of this thing. This is their class. This is this." But basically, Kirito's like, "Man, why does the food have to die so quickly? Like in the winter, for some reason, it stays better for longer." And Kirito's like, maybe it's because it's cold. And I'm like, no shit, Kirito. No shit, Kirito. When something's cold, it lasts longer? Who would have guessed? I don't know. That just seemed kind of like a stupid shit. But yeah, so basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Alice and Kirito basically say, alright, well, why don't tomorrow we go to this place where this ancient legend happened, where apparently this one guy met this ice dragon, but in this place there's ice, so we can just grab some ice and leave, even though apparently there might be a dragon here. And they go, alright, it's cool. So the group then, basically next day, just straight heads out straight to this cave, which I will say the books, I don't want to say all the books are better, but I will say the books at least give a little bit more detail on like this world isn't all what it seems, even though we kind of guess it's a digital world because it's Sword Art Online. But like when they go to this mountain, which is like a bit of ways, it is a bit of ways. But the thing is like it's a bit of ways, but they're like on the far north part of this like world of humanity, which is just like this, like it's surrounded by this giant wall of think of an invisible barrier, but it's actually a mountain. That separates you from the other side, which is not so much the end of the world, but it's the Dark Kingdom, or Dark Territory. Where was I going? Oh, basically, at some point, there's actually a point where, like, the grassland and, like, the rock of the mountain kind of just, like, it's literally just, like, a line across, and in the book, they kind of explain that. Maybe they'll explain it later on, also, when Kirito goes back again, but they kind of be like, okay, this, like, they kind of just stop. It's supposed to be like a video game, kind of. But basically, they go there. They go into the cave. They find out dragon dead. As well as Alice uses magic, sacred arts, which actually are a little more like commands. Or system commands. Like when you go like Alt-Delete, Control-Alt-Delete. Basically kind of like that. But instead it's glow, luminous, object. So make the object glow. And they say it in English. I believe they say it in English. I know I read it in English. I don't think I heard them say it in English. But it's supposed to be in English. They head in. They find out that not only is the dragon dead, but this magical sword that this hero found there is still there. And Kirito's having a hard time. And the thing is, in the book, they kind of explain that like, oh, the sword is super heavy and they can't pick it up. And to me, immediately again, I'm kind of like, okay, I just found a magical sword in a cave next to a dragon. I'm not leaving that sucker. I will drag that thing back home if I have to. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Eventually does do that, but I will drag that sucker home because it's a magical fucking sword next to a magical goddamn dragon. Dead dragon, because they find out, oh, something cut it in half. Dragon, I would take that home. But, group grabs it, can't pick it up, or, no, Here's actually does drag it and pick it up a couple of feet. I'm like, dude, you could Yu-Gi-Oh! And Alex can all pick that sucker up and walk it out of there. Basically, they're like, no, we can't do this. As well as there's a bunch of gold, and there's other swords, too. But even though, like, the gold horde doesn't look as good as in the Because this is like little piles of gold instead of like a mountain of gold that should be, for a dragon. I'm trying to see, maybe, trying to see if they show it in the book. I don't think they do. But yeah, so but basically they go to this mountain. They fight, they're like, all right, well, let's just, instead of taking any money or the swords or anything like that, let's just take some ice. Sure, why not? So they grab a bunch of ice, but then they're like, wait, which door did we come in? That one or that one? And I'm like, okay, which way was the dragon pointing when you came in? Because if the dragon's head was pointing that way, and you came in from that, way, then maybe that's the way you came out, or that's the way you came in. That's the way you should leave. But of course, that's not brought up. Instead, they're like, maybe it's this one. So they go through that one. Turns out they find out on the other side of the Dark Territory, which is against their Bible. It's called the Taboo Index, but I'm just gonna call it their Bible because this season has a lot to do about religion and kind of breaking the tenets of religion in some cases, which I'm fine with. But yeah, so like basically Alice, Kirito, and Yu-Gi-Oh go to the other side and they're like, uh-oh, red skies, black earth, we're on the wrong side of this mountain. But before they can actually touch the other side, they look up in the sky and they see a white dragon with a white knight and a black. It feels like I'm redoing my review of the books, but a black dragon with a black knight on it. And these two are fighting each other. And the white dragon's apparently called an Integrity Knight, while the black dragon is a Dark Integrity Knight. I don't know. We haven't gotten their names yet, even in the books yet. At least from what I've read, I haven't gotten to that part yet. But they're fighting, and the white knight shoots a red arrow, which. The thing is, seeing that guy with the bow and arrow shooting an arrow and, like, killing this Dark Knight, I'm immediately thinking, like, because I'm at the point of the book where he comes up again later on, and it's just like, oh, shit, I know exactly who that is. He's going to be an a-hole later. But that's going to be, like, another, like, 2 years for that Kirito's going to be, or another, well, technically, 11, 12, 13. He's, like, 19 by, technically... Mentally wise, he's 19 by the point of the book that I'm reading. But, Kirito, but basically, Black Knight dies. Alice is like, I have to save him. Runs out there, trips, touches the ground, and then, like, a little window kind of goes, well, you fucked up. Disappears. Alice, Kirito, and Yu are like, we should go home now. Grab Alice, they run home. Alice goes, well, I hope you guys are going to like the food I'm going to make for you tomorrow afternoon. Foreshadow, foreshadow, foreshadow. All right, have a good day. Foreshadow, foreshadow, foreshadow. She leaves. Yu-Gi-Oh then has a dream where Alice is walking to a light and Yu-Gi-Oh goes, Alice, don't go! Alice! Foreshadow, foreshadow, foreshadow! And thus then, next day, the same Integrity Knight lands and goes, yeah, your daughter fucked up. And the father's like, my daughter fucked up? Your daughter fucked up. And she then goes, well, fuck. But the thing is, in the book, Alice is already kind of tied up in chains. In this, Alice is behind a bunch of people, and it's Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are like, Alice, what's going on? What's happening? And then they find out, and then... But in the show, but in the anime, she's behind these people, or she's in behind these people, and then she's taken in front of the knight. But in the other say, she's already kind of tied up, I believe, in front of the knight. So like Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito watch as their friend got taken, dragged in front of this dragon, tied up, and then Kirito has a bright idea. Maybe we should try to help her. And it was like, wow, you two are fucking idiots. You should have done that as soon as you saw the knight land. I would have immediately been like, hey, Alice, we need to leave. But Kirito then goes, all right, Yu-Gi-Oh, here's the plan. You grab Alice. I'm going to run at the night with this dragon bone axe that they give us to cut down this giant tree. And we're going to go save Alice. Got it? Got it. Kirito runs. Integrity Knight looks at him and goes, please. He goes, fuck off. Sends him flying off. Yu-Gi-Oh's like, I have to save Alice. Runs. Then his eye suddenly has a red mark in it that says, alert, system, fuck up. I keep saying fuck a lot in this. I'm sorry. His eye goes, alert. Alert. System error. And Yugi's like, I can't do anything. I have the cruddy Sharingan. I have the cruddy, man, I bet Boruto doesn't have to worry about these magic eyes. His magic eye. But, Yu-Gi-Oh can't do anything. Knight flies away with bondage, like literally like bondage kind of like, Alice. So I'm just like, handcuffs, maybe hook her up to the front. But no, like, they just straight up bonds, like arms, leg, like it's a harness, like some kind of BDSM thing. Lock her up, and he flies off, which the animation kind of is messed up because there's a church in the way, and then there's like the dragon flying off by the side, but you can clearly tell that the dragon is more like closer to the camera than the church is, so it just looks like the Integrity Knight shrank, and it's like a tiny little thing flying away because they even angled it kind of messed up, but yeah, so that happens. Let me see. So next to them, then teleported. I have some things. But then basically, Kirito goes, Alice! Wakes up. He's like in front of this thing that looks kind of like an MRI. Not really. But it's kind of like an MRI. And then comes one of the best scenes that is a good difference from the book. And it's where it suddenly cuts to Gun Gale Online, where you see Sinon running away from a bunch of people shooting at her, and then one of the best characters of Sword Art Online comes out in a buggy, shooting with a gun in hand, and this character, of course, is Klein. Klein's kind of goes, yeah, fuck yeah! He starts just laying bullets out. I'm like, fuck yeah, Klein! And he's just freaking coming in, and then you see everyone from Alfheim jump on, or Sword Art Online stuff, jump on, and they all have like way better outfits than they did in the game, Gun Gale Fatal Bullet, which they straight up freaking advertised in this anime at one point. It's in the background. And they're firing guns, they're fighting off a team, and Kirito and Asuna both jump in. Kirito's back at his Fen Kirito design, which honestly is one of my favorite designs of Kirito, as well. Then Asuna comes in with like a cool suit, which like it's kind of like has a hood, but it's not really. It's like a guard, but it looks like a hood and it looks kind of cool. And they both come in with their sword play. You see Asuna still uses like the fencing style, while Kirito of course uses his one-handed sword wielding, and it's really freaking awesome. I literally love this scene. And the thing is, like, they even like this is all set up for, I'm assuming, what comes after Alicization, which kind of sucks because Alicization, because the thing is, Alicization is probably one of the better versions, one of the better stories of Sword Art Online. But you just set up Gun Gale Online, which was my favorite like story of this. Gun Gale Online was one of my favorite stories, and because again, a lot of homages, a lot of stuff from Star Wars that they kind of just straight stole. But I really liked the Gun Gale Online arc, and they're straight up setting up for another Gun Gale Online arc. They are setting that up, unless it's supposed to be set up for Gun Gale Online, Sword Art Online, Gun Gale, whatever the fudge the anime is called, the new one. I gotta watch that one too, but unless it's supposed to be set up for that, because there are some of these where like these are like a military team and stuff like that. But the thing is, when the main group beats this military team, and the military team's like, we can't fight them, they're not like real fighters, we just leave. One of the guys goes, alright, well, I guess I'll see you next time, Kirito. Puts up his hood, and you see the red eye of Death Gun, because apparently we're gonna have a second Death Gun, which, fine, whatever, I don't care, just put me back in the, I'm not saying I don't like the Gun Gale Online anime, which I gotta actually finish that one. But I did kind of like the whole idea with like a sword wielder during this time with lightsabers and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe it's a little flax a little bit on that stuff. I don't know. I'll get back into the Gun Gale Online one to see what happens. But yeah, so that happens, and then we cut to our first cafe scene. Technically, they had the scene where they were eating around the Gigas tree, so technically there's 3. But there's a cafe scene. They're all like, yeah, that was great, but man, these guys suck. But also, like, I'm going to have this bullets of bullets thing. Also, Kirito's asleep. So, Kirito's asleep because he fell asleep, and he fell asleep on top of the little dragon girls. Like, and So it's like, oh, cute, and also like, there you go. You just gave that to shippers, whatever. But Kirito's asleep, and so Sinon basically goes, so Asuna, I need you and Kirito to meet me at the cafe, Tiffany's Cafe. I'm saying Tiffany from the Abridged series because that's all I know his name as now. Tiffany's Cafe, because we need to talk about the Bullet of Bullets. Even though I'm like thinking, you guys can talk right here. Like, you don't, like, I guess maybe because Kirito fell asleep. And literally at one point, like, everyone logs out except for Kirito, Asuna, and Sinon. And Kirito falls asleep at a table, and then he's just standing up sleeping while in the game, which I'm like, okay, I can believe in a video game that, like, in a VR video game that maybe your character doesn't have to fall unless you want him to fall. But see, even then, so Kirito's just like, standing up, and Asuna and Sinon are like, alright, meet me at Tiffany's. And like, alright, I'll meet you at Tiffany's. Both of them disappear, and Kirito's just like, left there standing, sleeping. And then he's like, huh? What? Like, it would have been... like, there's so many things in this where it's just like, I'm just waiting for the Abridged series to catch up, because I'm just like, oh my god, they're gonna have so much fun with this arc. Like, even at one point where later on when they do go to Tiffany's, and, like, they bring up, that Asuna... Basically, they, like, Sinon says, wow, you look skinnier, Kirito, which they actually do look a little bit older, too. He's like, you look skinnier. And Asuna's like, is it because you... like, let me check your vitals. And Sinnoh's like, what, your vitals? And she's like, yeah, see? She has a little phone app that shows Kirito's heart rate and stuff like that. And I'm just like, and Sinnoh's like, wait, is this like an anti-cheating thing? And Kirito and Asuna are like, no! But I'm just thinking like, oh my god, that's exactly how they're gonna run it in a bridge. In a bridge, like, they're gonna be like, a bridge, like, Asuna's gonna be like, not only that, it's also has a tracker, so I can track where he's always... Is I can track like I can see like the Asuna of Sword Art Online Abridged having so much fun with that bit. Like I can see the writers having so much fun with that bit. Like yeah, like I tracking him down. Like I have his like it's in his balls, chest, heart. This sucker won't go anywhere without me knowing where he is. Like something like that. It wouldn't be too goddamn surprising, and it would be amazing. But basically, yeah, they're like, alright, but basically after this, they say, oh, can you join Bullet of Bullets? Because in the books, like, literally the whole reason for the Gun Gale Online bit is literally because Sinon kind of just, like, summarized, oh, I had this battle in Gun Gale Online, and, like, I need you guys to move from Alpine to Gun Gale Online to help me out. That's basically what the books say. But in this, it is like, oh no, you have all the characters in Gun Gale Online now, which is cool. I'm like, sweet. That covers that up, but the whole point is to show that way they can set up for the next arc, which is after this one, I'm sure, which is going to be the new Gun Gale Online arc, which, fudge, yes, that is the one world I want them to expand more on, which they have another anime for it, but I don't know. But yeah, so they basically go, alright, cool. Oh shit. No, not Ghost in the Shell. There, just put them over there. But yeah, but basically they go like, alright, cool. So, they're gonna then leave Tiffany's bar because they're gonna, Kirito's gonna walk Asuna home. Which, the thing is, in the books, Sinon is the one who first notices that there's something bad going on. Like, she says, like, it's her quote-unquote sniper sense from playing Gun Gale Online. And honestly, I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. She's the one who first knows, like, I feel like someone's watching us. But, like, she doesn't, but, like, in this, it's literally just Kirito. Kirito, like, 'cause in the anime, no, Kirito's the only one who can have this sense, or can be the epic one like, I sense evil of what? But yeah, but basically, him and Asuna go to this, are walking home, they're talking to each other. Kirito says, I'm gonna go to America, because in America, the technology there is more advanced for full dies. And I'm like, bullshit, Japan. Bullshit that America has better virtual VR technology, graphic and such, better, that bullcrap that America has that better than Japan. Bullshit. Because Japan is leading in technology in like almost everything. In everything entertainment-wise, I think Japan is kind of a lead in that advancements. I do not believe America is ahead of that. And I live in America! I do not believe that in the slightest. But yeah, so Japan is Japan is having, he's gonna go to America, ask Asa to come. Asa's like, oh, yes, please. And yes, please. And Kirito but then it turns out there was someone stalking them, and it turns out he's actually the third death gun person, and he runs at Kirito with this syringe. Kirito reaches for his sword on his back, and like you see like the image of like Kirito from Sword Art Online, but of course there's no sword there, so he uses his umbrella and stabs the dude in the leg while he gets stabbed in the chest, right where that little sensor that oh, I forgot to mention everything else. Basically, Kirito has a side job where he's working with this company called Wrath because he for like full dive stuff, and they have this thing called the Soul Translator, because apparently Wrath has confirmed that there is a soul and that it is trapped within the mind. They have confirmed this. They have confirmed that the soul, like, if you guys don't figure out, like, please tell me someone else can see, like, why, like, they're like, you know, you could, you literally just confirmed that there's a soul. Maybe tell somebody about it? Just a thought? Because you kind of just blew up religion. You just blew up religion at one point. We're like, oh yeah, no, there is a soul. There is a soul. And stuff like that. You kind of just confirmed that. And you guys would, one, of course, you're leading in science and all that stuff, and you would go down in history for that. Literally just that alone. You'd probably make money off of that alone. Just like, yeah, we just discovered the soul. That's like Nobel Peace Prize. That's like, oh my god, all the different sciences that they can use then to then figure like what can the soul do and stuff like that, or what this could show about humanity, what this could show about religion, what this could show about all of it. Like, there's so much you can do with the idea that you just found out about the human soul and confirmed it to science. I believe in the human soul and stuff, but yeah, you just confirmed that. But it's not really the human soul. Even though they call it the human soul and they say, oh, it's a human soul, it's more or less just a consciousness, I guess. Because basically they say that there's a light in the brain that gives soul. Whatever. In any case, yeah, so that's his thing, and like that's what they brought up about the sensors, because the sensors allowed him to hook up to the machine better, I guess. Then putting little dials and everything. But yeah, Kirito gets stabbed in the leg, or he gets stabbed in the chest with poison. He passes out, and Asuna goes, Kirito! Which in the books, I believe it is in the books, that they show that Kirito gets taken away on an ambulance, and Asuna looks down at her phone at the heartbeat thing, and sees that, like, the heartbeat is 0. Like, he's dead. And then he wakes up, of course, in this magical world. Which I believe is the next episode. He wakes up in the magical world. He meets Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Has no recollection of him. Kirito has no recollection of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because apparently the Wrath machine stops that stuff from happening. You don't know what's, like, those memories don't come through. But Kirito is, now in this world, is like, huh. But in the books, again, in the books, they explain that even in Sword Art Online, which is supposed to be like most advanced, and like they say, oh, everything is so realistic and stuff like that, that there is still loading. In a sense, there's still rendering. Where like, take your hand from here, or take my hand from here, and then if I move it up real close to the camera, you would see little pixels until eventually it renders into the more smoother look. You know, like how games kind of like, when something far away doesn't look as good, but when we get closer, you kind of see it better. That's a similar process. That's a similar thing. But in this, it's just like, usually looks at a butterfly and goes, this is too real to be a 3D world. And it's just like, okay, you can explain that a bit more. But whatever. So Kirito then hears knocking, finds Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! and Kirito start talking. They don't recognize each other, but Kirito's like, your name sounds familiar. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Starts talking about their Bible called the Taboo Index a little bit. It sounds like he's like not a Mormon, a Jehovah's Witness. Like, would you like to hear about the Taboo Index? But Yu-Gi-Oh says, "Oh, you must be a child of Vecta," because Kirito says he just appears in this world and has no idea who he is, where he came from, and stuff like that. But Yu-Gi-Oh's like, "Oh, you must be a child of Vecta, the dark god. Basically, you're someone who gets taken from their village and just dropped in the forest without any memories. Because Vecta, oh, that Vecta, he's a trickster, that one god." And so Yu-Gi-Oh says, "All right, well, just give me like 4 hours. My village is over there, but you can't go there because if you go there, the men-at-arms might kill you or like tell you to leave. Well, not kill you, tell you to leave away. Because no, I'll explain that stuff later. But maybe like next episode. But Kirito is, all right, well, I guess I'll stay here with you. He's like, what's your job? My job is to cut down this giant tree that takes 300 years to just cut down like this little bitty bit. And Kirito's like, well, maybe I could help you with your job. And Yu-Gi-Oh's like, all right, cool. So and this is the part where like Kirito's like, I'm going to try to cut it down like with a sword. Messes up his hand. He's like, God damn it. Which is great. So basically, Kirito helps at the tree. Yu-Gi-Oh teaches him kind of how to do it. Shows him like the Stacio windows. So Kirito's like, oh, this is a digital world. And also, I forgot to mention, there's a scene where Kirito's trying to like log out. He's like, system command, log out, like that. And immediately the Sword Art Online Abridged came up where Kirito's like, oh my god, wait, I can't log out. How am I gonna log out? How am I gonna log out? I'm trapped here again. How am I gonna play the game? Oh, wait, it's the other hand. I'm just like, my god, I'm so hoping the abridged version just straight up does that. Like he just starts freaking out and goes, oh, it's probably just the other hand. Does the other hand just goes, oh god! But Kirito then goes, all right, fine, whatever. Basically him and Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically then after 1,000 hits each, or no, 500 hits each, and Kirito kind of messes up, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Also says like, oh, like when they're eating this cruddy bread, like, why don't you bring food from home? This stuff sucks. And Yu-Gi-Oh's like, well, I kind of did, but she was taken away because we fucked up. But when they finally head back, they meet the jerk of the town who's like the bully kind of, and he's the man-at-arms, the guy who's like, so he's like, hey, Yu-Gi-Oh, who's this guy? And he's like, oh, this is Kirito. He's like, he's a child of Vecta. He's like, huh? Oh, so you don't know your calling, which is a job, of course, that you get when you're, like, I guess, young, and, like, that's what you do all the way until you're dead. And that you can't change or anything. And Kirito goes, yeah, I don't remember calling, I don't remember where I'm from. And the man-at-arms like, huh? Well, I guess you must not have been a good calling anyways. I'm like, wow, you're an asshole. And Kirito must have agreed, because he's like, you know what? I think I was a swordsman. And goes, oh, really? You're a swordsman? Here's a sword. Show us what you got. And Kirito then goes to a trade and goes, all right. Holds it like this. Sword glows. Slices the wood in half and goes, oh, sword skills exist in this world, for one. And two, like, he just slices this thing straight in half. And the guy's like, oh. He's like, yeah. Get the fuck out of here. They head to a church where Kirito's going to stay. They meet Alice's sister, which they don't explain it yet. But basically, Alice's sister goes, all right, this is where you're going to sleep. This is this. Prayers at 6. Get up on your own time. Don't make me have to come wake you up. Leaves. And Kirito's like, well, I'm either in a fantasy world, but it seems too real. The people here don't seem like NPCs. They seem like actual people, but there's not enough soul translators, as it's called, the new dive machine. Where am I? And how am I going to get out of here? Oh, but then he says, like, well, maybe if I get to a bigger city, like, I can find an administrator and they can log me out, but I'm going to need money to get there. And also maybe someone to help me, because, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! And then, basically, that's the end of those 2 episodes. And also, I also watched the entire opening scene, which, this entire season, it should have been more like an adventure to Centauria, and then, like, certain things that happens. But the thing is, because Centauria is like the center of this quote unquote world, where it's like it's the main city, and like also I forgot, you pan up and you see the main bad guy or girl who's like in the center of this tower, which in the book they say it's way taller, where like you can't even see the top, but in this it's like, oh no, it's like maybe the Sears Tower height, maybe less actually, but I guess maybe because Reki Kawahara or the artists are like, to make some tower that huge, we're gonna have, like, that thing has to be, like, huge on the base. Like, you can't just have, like, a small tower and say, but hey, guys. But basically, you see her like in bed and she's like smiling, but there's like a tear coming down her face. But basically, then yeah, and that's the end of that. Which this season is kind of more is a lot about like Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito kind of teaming up. And the thing is, like, I wish it was kind of more of them having an adventure across the land. But then again, as the world is built up, you might see there's some seams in this world that are kind of like, wait, why did you make that? And then and then literally the book I'm reading is like, oh, Rekikawa was like, I have to fix some of this and make a reason why a lot of this is the way it is. Because before it's explained, you're like, wait, how does that work? Unless they're not going to explain it in the anime, because it makes no sense. And it doesn't really make much sense. But I'll bring that up maybe in another video as well. But yeah, but like there's the thing, like it is supposed to be kind of like, because Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh, they say like, oh, they look kind of very similar. Like only difference is like Yu-Gi-Oh has blonde hair and blue eyes. Well, Kirito of course has black hair and black eyes. But they are supposed to be kind of like brothers, kind of. Even though in the books I kind of felt this a little bit more, but they're kind of supposed to be not that they are brothers, but they have that friendship or that bond kind of. That I kind of really like, and I do kind of like the ending of the intro, which I will say like that bit was like my favorite part, where you do see like the end of like the Rulid kind of arc of it, where they're in this town, where they both are heading out to Centauria, and the two actually kind of go like do a handshake. And so I'm like, okay, that is actually really cool, and I like that, at least character development. I mean, it's because I just really like that. It reminds me of me and my brother just doing our handshake. But yeah, like, it's stuff like that. Where like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. I actually really like that bit. And like, I kind of hope this anime will do that well, but I also know that within the next 3 to 4 episodes, we're going to be at the Sword Academy. No, 4 to 5. 4 to 5 episodes, we're going to be at the Sword Academy, and that's when the story drags you through the mud until you eventually, and that's going to be like another like 2 to 3 episodes, I'm sure. And then eventually it'll start to kick up again. But yeah, it kind of just drags you through the mud at that point. And that's like, oh, God. But there is some cool stuff coming. It's an alright couple episodes. And again, there is a base here. There is a good base. Even though they probably should have... I'm trying to think of how they could have done this a bit better. Because I'm thinking like, okay, the cold open where like they just kind of appear in this world where like Kirito as a young kid, because he's not the same age Kirito, he's like 6 years old in this when he starts, and then he wakes up and he's like, apparently him and Yu-Gi-Oh are like 17 by the beginning of this series. So Kirito becomes 19 by the age of towards the next part of this arc, the Alicization Arc, like I think by the 3rd book of it. So I'm not sure how that's gonna happen, but there is some stuff coming that I kind of liked in the books. And also, I forgot to mention, immediately Kirito, when he's laying down, he's like, these people aren't NPCs, but they're not players either. These must be artificial souls, come from newborn babies that Wrath scanned into the system and then grew them in. And I'm like, where the fuck? What? And I'm like, Kirito, like in the book, it does happen that similar way, but I don't think Kirito figures that out until later, until he sees the goblins in this cave that's way later, not way later, a little bit later, and he's like, okay, this, and it's later on confirmed but I'm like, one, Kirito should not have known that straight all the way back. Let that be explained outside, because we do get like outside of Sword Art Online, which it kind of gives a look kind of like how like people complain about Assassin's Creed. It's like, why are we getting outside of this world? I want to stay in the digital world fighting in history. Why are you taking me out of history to take me to this stuff? Like, that's kind of what this is, they do, but they explain it there, and I'm like, why did Kirito have to explain it? So we just get it double explained? In any case, it's just kind of like, what? But, yeah, Kirito immediately goes, newborn baby souls are trapped in this, and are made, and all people are made from those newborn baby souls. Done! I knew this already. Just, really? But in any case, these episodes are alright. They're not the greatest. Again, the book does explain a little things a little bit more, but then again, this book, which I like the Alicization starts on the number 9, the book 9, but this, like, they do spend, like, half of the book, like, explaining, like, oh, this is the world. Let me explain all of the world, which, unlike something like Overlord, where very similar setups, but, unlike Overlord, where it's like, alright, I will go ahead and explain certain things later on, but I don't take up 4 to 5 chapters or 4 to 5 pages to explain it all. It'll be like a small bit, or it'll be like certain things like, Mare and Aura, yeah, they died at one point during a raid, and then they came back. I wonder if they remember that. Maybe I shouldn't bring it up. It's stuff like that. It's like, okay, they brought that in like, what, maybe a page, maybe a paragraph, stuff like that. This would be like, well, in Centauria, this is the place where all the Integrity Knights come from. And the only way you can get to there is if you join the Sword Academy. If you go to the Sword Academy, you have to be the top ranking to then go do this, to then become an Integrity Knight. But first, you also have to have the color of a man at arms first. But I'll never do that because I'm a woodcutter. And like, they literally go on for that for like a couple goddamn pages. Like, get to the goddamn story. Again, like, this isn't the greatest books, and this isn't the greatest anime, but it is alright. Again, if you want the better version. Overlord. But, yeah, it's alright, and I do actually kind of like it. And I also love the idea of the durability system, as well as later on, like, Kirito, like, literally at the end of Sword Art Online 1, where Kirito wills himself to attack the commander, Kayaba as the quote-unquote commander of the Red Shield or Cross or whatever. That is actually brought up in this kind of, where in this world, how you see yourself or how you believe your power or how strong your integrity is, I guess, you will actually be stronger. So it's like, okay, well, Kirito's bullshit will actually come in handy in this world because he actually can literally will himself to be stronger at some points. But yeah, it's alright. And FYI, again, like, first book-wise, we are about maybe, I want to say about here. From the episodes, maybe around here, maybe a little bit earlier, nuclear option. But like maybe like around here is where we left up. There's not a human. There's no AIs. So what are they? Yeah. And oh my God! Literally, this is the spot. This is the spot that the episode ends. Oh my God! Yeah. It's Kirito talking about what are the AIs? What are they? Yeah. I did miss Selka's offer to teach me how to put out a lamp. Yeah. This is literally where the episode ends. Or maybe not. Oh, yeah, because the next day where he takes a bath. But yeah, this is like almost where the exact episode ends. So like we're like halfway through the first book. Or more, like 2/3 way through the first book. So, and that's only like, that's like 3 episodes in technically, because the first episode's like an hour. But yeah. This is a long episode. I'm sorry. The others will probably be small as I go single file through each one. So when the next Sword Art Online comes out. But yeah, this is, by God, it has a good setup. It has a good base, and it could expand on it. But when it hits the Sword Academy, it's gonna fuck up. It drags you through the dirt, through some bull crap you don't care about. Shows you characters that you really don't. Some characters that really don't matter until the next book. But yeah, you at home. I'm gonna say right now, you at home play Sword Art Online Bingo, where there's either again a scene where someone shoves their butt in the mirror, usually a kid, or the screen, usually a woman. But Kirito was the first one to do it, and also like him and like Yu-Gi-Oh were wrestling, but like they're kind of just like, hey, Yu-Gi-Oh, you want a tickle fight? Like, so like, okay, I think Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito might actually like each other a little bit more than I thought, but more than I probably love. But there's the butt shots. There's the talking where around food and or like a cafe area while they're sitting down eating. Then there's rape. But don't worry, that actually doesn't come out yet till like the fourth book. No, the third book. That doesn't happen till the third book. Don't worry. But Ricky Kawahara somehow works it in there because he has to work it in there in every season. Actually, I think the only one that it doesn't happen to is the Rosaria arc, which is the second half of the Gun Gale Online season, which either way, the girl still has super AIDS. I think Ricky Kawahara has a problem, other than not writing right. Other than not knowing how to write sometimes. Then again, he's also admitted that. But, he can't write women. But, trying to think. But yeah, it's alright. I like the foreshadowing showing the bad guy, even though at one point I'm reading the book and they said, oh yeah, the main bad guy is my twin sister. Two characters look nothing alike. Unless like when she was young, kind of younger. But yeah, the two characters look nothing alike later on. But yeah. It's a good setup. I want to know what happened. I want to see how they're gonna translate some of this. But I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Oh, and wait till you see how Asuna figures out where Kirito is. Wait till you find out. It's like Doctor Doom evil bad guy layer shtick, and it's amazingly stupid, but amazingly funny. But either way, just tell me what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Shoot as I done links on my Facebook around there somewhere. Go watch Overlord, and we will see you later. It's freaking funny because in this one they bring up a lot about those different sword skills and different things from Aincrad and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, I now remember and know which sword skills Kirito's using at what times.